Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Well, hey there, everybody. It is the Inspiration Station where we do what we upsize in 2025. And y'all, 2025 is almost up out of here, right? Because y'all are coming in. Today is December the 5th. 2025. I hope that everybody has had an amazing day so far. And as I always say, I know that this is the best time that you look forward to. You cannot wait to be with me. I know. And again, as I always tell you, I just keep that between us because some people might be a little hurt or they have their little feelings a little let down because of that, but we don't care. But I'm glad that you all are here. I know I'm going to give you guys time to come on in, and I hope that everybody has had an amazing and awesome day, also an amazing week. I felt like this week really flew by, as the weeks have been doing, and they continue to do so. But I hope that everything has been pleasant. And again, as I always say, if there's been any challenges or things have been challenging, that it just reminds you of how much you are an overcomer, and that there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can hinder you. There's nothing that can be able to enable your strength, disable your strength, disable your strength that you have to move forward no matter what. And that you're always going to have the victory. Even if it doesn't feel like it, you're always going to have the victory. So to everybody out there, I want to say hello to everyone live on YouTube right now. And as you all are coming in, I know y'all are taking your little time. Come on now. I'm not trying to be in here all night. But no, everybody out on YouTube live, Instagram live, LinkedIn live, Facebook Live. I'm forgetting. Also, the listeners on Amazon, Audible, Spotify, and also on Apple. I have to remember, y'all, and I think there's some more things that are going to come in the near future. I hear it, I feel it, but I hope that everyone, again, also, I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? I know we kind of, we talked about that a little bit last Friday of just, talking about, celebrating things all the time, not just waiting for a holiday. But I've been loving hearing all of these stories with my clients. And, I'm thankful that none of them are, in jail or anything because, coming together with family can be difficult sometimes. But I'm just hoping that each and every one of you enjoyed your time with your families, or again, if you were by yourself. And as I say, every day is a day of Thanksgiving. We don't have to wait until the holiday comes around to celebrate, right? So, anybody, if it's your first time in here in the Inspiration Station, you are no longer a guest. Well, actually, you're not a guest anyway, because now that you're logged in, you are a family. And we are looking forward to having you continue to come every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, make sure you share this out. Make sure you share it with everybody in your phone, your email database. Go to your state, senate, the capital, whatever, your church, the government. Oh, never mind. But anyway, oh yeah, the government too. Send this out to any and everybody that you can, because the Inspiration Station is literally not about the vessel that you are hearing right now or that you are watching right now. This is about all of us, because each and every one of us are an inspiration to others. Anyone who has crossed your path, you have inspired. I guarantee that. Also, you are an inspiration to yourself. How are you an inspiration to yourself? You just go back and look in the catalog of your life, and you just look at all of the different categories of your life that are consisting of your life, that will remind you over and over again that you are an overcomer. You are a person who can go through and come on the other side of anything and everything. And you have moments in your life that you could look back just last week or maybe even today that reminds you, like, you know what? I am an inspiration to myself. I am a person who can motivate myself. I am a person who can encourage myself, and I can look at things in my life when I need to pull back and look at my testimony. Look at your testimonies of your life that you can pull back and say, you know what? I can run on a little bit further now because I've been able to do this before. This is just a different phase of my life, but I can go higher even right here. Also, this is a place where we're open, we're honest, we're vulnerable, not just with one another, but also with our own selves. With our own selves, y'all help me. But anyway, y'all keep praying for me. But to ourselves. sometimes that our relationship with ourselves is what often the one that is neglected. We tend to be people who have we're the ear, with the shoulder, we're the people who give a lot of output, and sometimes you forget to put some input into yourself, and making sure that you look in the mirror and you honor that person, and you're open, you're honest, you're vulnerable, you tell yourself the truth at all times, right? To thine own self be true. Y'all, I had somebody tell me, and nothing against this person, but I remember years ago, I had a client, and she was so serious. She said, "Because Mr. Josh, the Bible says, to thine own self be true." And I was like, "That is not in there." I was like, "That's not in there," but that's a good saying, right? But anyway, but yes, we have to be true to ourselves. That's how we can be true to others. Also, this is a place where we'll also have people who will be coming on that will be interviewed from time to time, where we get to sit with them and just let them spill their guts to us and allow us to learn and glean from their lives. And they give us some nuggets of wisdom that we can take and add to our toolbox, and we can continue to walk out this thing called life. So I'm glad that you all are here. Glad to see y'all. Well, glad to see y'all. That you're hearing me. Glad that you're seeing me. I appreciate you once again, y'all. This is December, and what it means a lot to me because um, starting this out last December, actually, my producer, who has been doing a phenomenal job with the Inspiration Station, I want each and every one of y'all to give it up for him right now. Everybody's clap your hands real quick. I'm not going to display his name right now. So I'm going to say his name, but I want to appreciate and just love on him because he literally reached out to me last year, and he asked me, he said, "Have you ever thought about doing a podcast?" I was like, no, like I do not. And it was from, some level of fear. Because I am used to speaking in front of people, but most likely with the microphone and in front of crowds of people. And I think, if I be very honest, I think it was sometimes, if it's small or big crowds, I think sometimes it was easier because I can't see everybody's eyes. I can't see everybody, so I was like, I can speak in front of people, I'll sing in front of people, I'll perform in front of people. But having to be where it's a camera and it's just literally like all on me, and I'm like, I can't see everybody, everybody's not visible to me. It was a little nerve-wracking. And also, speaking is something that was often attacked as I was growing up. People always were trying to tell me to shut up, be quiet, don't say nothing. My mother would be like, "You don't stop doing anything." My mom was like, "You speak, sing, whatever you need to do. You don't stop because of what people have to say." I would do it, but at the same time, I would have to really press through fear. Um, so when he asked me that, Mr. Jason, when he asked me that, I was like, you know what? I'm a person who will step out on faith. I have a lot of courage, but at the same time, I had a little fear, and I had to kind of talk about that, talk myself through that. And I was like, you know what? It's something new. I've never been hesitant to try something new. I'm like, let's try it, let's do it. And to see that we're a year now, almost a year here now on being in December, this is 12th month, being able to do the show every Friday. I am very thankful to that. And I let that be a testament to each and every one of you. Don't hesitate. Even if you're a little nervous, you're a little scared, a little fearful or whatever, just still step out and try something new. Do it. Do it and give it everything you have. You don't need to be perfect. Be consistent. Be faithful. Be ready to learn. Be ready to be stretched to see other sides of yourself. You never know what you're capable of. You never know what's on the other side of that fear. And again, as the word says, that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. But that does not mean that fear is not going to show up. But just don't you let that thing stop you. Don't you let that thing cause you to be stagnant. Don't you let that thing cause you to hide yourself. And then one of those things for me, I can say, I give God all the glory. For some strange reason, ever since I was a kid, I always, if no matter what, I could be afraid, but I would do it anyway. I could be scared, but I would do it anyway. And my mother is like, she would never have to tell me anything. She would just always tell me, "You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you." She would tell me, "It's to be expected." She was like, "You can tell me you're going to be on national television, and it's to be expected." And I remember when the first time I was able to tell her I was about to be on national television, she was like, "It's to be expected." But whatever it was, she always knew, Josh is going to do it, even if he's scared. Just give him a second, he'll do it. And I'm still that way today. And I think one thing I've had to learn about myself is I have to renew my belief in myself. And I want all y'all to think of this is not what we're talking about today, but I just feel like I'm led to do this. But sometimes you have to renew the belief in yourself. You be at a level before where you believed in yourself greatly. You had all this courage, all this faith, all this trust in yourself. And then as the Lord elevates you, you like, uh-oh, wait a minute, hold on now. Why am I feeling this way? I'm not as courageous as before. I'm starting to have a little bit more fear as usual. You have to renew it. It's not that it's gone anywhere. You have to renew it because now you got to see things through a different lens. You also have to be welcoming to the new you that you're evolving into. So it requires you to renew the belief in yourself. So saying all that to say, I'm glad to be here now. Almost, let's see, January will actually March make a year, but this being the 12th month of us doing the Inspiration Station, and I'm so glad. And I give so much props to Mr. Jason Wilson on here, y'all. So y'all clap it up for him. I didn't want to say his name right away, but I just want to appreciate him for all that he does for me and several people, y'all. He's a hardworking man, and he makes it happen for so many people. And I'm just thankful that he takes out the time and he saw something in me. Not so much that I didn't see in myself. I just didn't know how it would come about. So I'm glad he helped to stir that up for me. But now, without further ado, y'all, we're gonna keep it going. I just wanted to share that with you guys. But again, if you're afraid, it's okay. Most times I think the fear comes is because that's what you're supposed to do. And it's something in you that's kind of resisting. And it's like, no, even do it if your knees are knocking, do it anyhow. I've seen myself several times over the course of my life of doing things whether it was on stage, whether it was in private or whether it was in public, whether it was on stage or whatever it was. My knees would not, but I was going to do it, and nobody could tell. Nobody could tell, and I felt better after doing it anyway. Especially when you're doing something new, do it anyway. The only failure is not doing it. Okay, y'all. So we're gonna move because I don't want to be before y'all long. I want you all to enjoy your weekends this Friday, and y'all we're winding up, and this is the holiday time, and it's getting cold. It's getting cold. I love the cold, but at the same time, when it gets too cold, I'm like, all right, now I done had to turn my heat on, and I'm getting a little upset now. But what we're gonna talk about really quick, y'all, is just the title for tonight is just that you can pause, but you can't stop. You can pause, but you can't stop. When we define a pause, there's several different definitions, y'all. But one of those things is it's a short period in which something such as a sound or an activity is stopped before starting again. It's also defined as simply a delay or suspended reaction as from uncertainty. Another thing is a hesitation, a break, a stop, or rest, often for a calculated purpose or effect. I want y'all to think about something for just a minute, what I just mentioned just a second ago about being fearful. Sometimes when you have something thrown at you, a decision to make or anything like that, or some new venture you want to do, versus you being impulsive and thinking and wanting to dive into it or whatnot, you might stop for a minute. And even if it's fear, you stop. And now you want to assess it. You pause, I'm sorry, you pause on it and you assess it for a while, and then you think about it, you might pray about it, and then you go back to it because we don't stay on pause long. We press play and we get right back to it, but we don't stop. Um, Also, I'm going to give you a few examples of this. And I got a little tickled when I was kind of putting my notes together because I started thinking about things as a kid and how pause can play a role in that. But one of the first things I want to say is you think about if you're working out. How many of y'all go to the gym, work out, do body weight at home, go run or go walk or anything like that? I myself, I do work out daily. And one thing I do love to do is when I go to the gym and I know that my reps are increasing or with heavier weight. And it might not feel the best at first because when you're getting to a heavier weight, you might not be able to move as quick as you were before, which again is letting you know your resistance is stronger and you're getting stronger because now this is more weight than before. But I think about when you're working out with heavier weight and then you might need to take a pause. Sometimes I catch myself if I'm doing like bicep curls or something and I'm doing the free weights, the free hand weights, and I might be going up to a higher weight, a heavier weight. I'll be, I'll go, first, them first few, I'm like, okay, then I'm starting to slow down. And then maybe the second or the third set that I'm doing, I might have to pause. I might do five, and then I got to say, "Whew, Lord Jesus, put the weights down for me." And I'm like, lean over on the weight on the bench, and I'm like, okay, okay, okay. I got how many more I have left? Okay, you can do it. You can do it. Okay. Now let's regroup, and now let's get back to it. So again, it's nothing wrong with the pause because again, I'm still going to get my workout in. I'm still doing the number of reps I'm supposed to do on each set. It's just that I might not be able to do them easily or do them straight through. I might have to take a pause. But the thing is, in taking that pause, I get right back to it. I don't stop. If I stop, that means, okay, that was hard. Let me put these weights up and go to something else. No, we're not doing that. Also, I want you to think about this is what some of you all will probably remember this, but think about like the Nintendo as a kid. Y'all, anybody played the Nintendo? Y'all, I'm telling my age a little bit, I guess, but playing the original Nintendo, not Super Nintendo, not all the other stuff that's out there now. Y'all don't even know what game systems are really out there like I used to. But you play the Nintendo and you press pause, and maybe you have to go to the restroom, or maybe you want to go get you a snack, and you might be playing the Mario Brothers, and you done got to a certain level, and you like, oh no, I can't let anything happen to stop this to start this all the way over. So I'm gonna press pause, go do what I need to do. For me, I know once I remember going outside because I wanted to go play kickball. And I remember pressing pause and I put the remote, like tucked it under somewhere so it wouldn't, my mom, if she happened to come downstairs, she wouldn't like walk on it or anything like that. And I remember going out to play. I was out there for like 2 hours. I came back in and it was still on pause and I went right back. I was like, all right. And it almost gave me a little bit of, I got some time away from the TV, time away from having to concentrate on that game so much. I took my mind off of it. So when I came back, it's like I was refreshed and I was ready to go to the as many more levels as I wanted to. Sometimes I'll be staying up all night. Do y'all remember that playing the game all night until you get to a certain level? Also think about like if you are a basketball player who gets a little irate. Maybe he's playing well in the game, but the coach is knowing that he's not in his head and he's getting out of his head, and he has to say, you know what, let's do a timeout. Let me pull him and let's do a substitution. Sit him down for a minute, let them cool out, or her to sit them down for a minute. It doesn't mean that they're not going to play again or that they're not going to get back in the game. They just need to take a pause. Come away from the game for a second, sit down, get your mind right. Okay, now I'll let you go back in. One other thing, y'all. Okay, maybe, yeah, one other thing I want to say. I thought about when I was dancing at UTC in undergrad. I remember there was a specific routine. I was tough when it came to routines because we needed to make sure they were on point, and I wanted the formations right. And I always would challenge the band on tempo. If I went to a Friday band rehearsal or something like that, or we were out on the field for practicing or whatever, and the tempo to whatever song they wanted us to dance to was too slow, I would say something, and I would go up to the band director, and he was like a dad to me in a sense, and I would say, and he was like, "What do you want, Lennox?" And I'm like, "Can y'all pick this up? Y'all are playing this. Can y'all do cut time?" I knew my terminology, so the band respected me. I knew my music terminology, so they respected that. But I wanted us to move quick, and I remember the song was "Get Ready" by the Temptations, and at first they were playing da 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 da, and I was like, "That's not going to get it." So I was like, and I asked them to speed it up, so it was da 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 da, and the girls were looking at me like, "Are you serious?" Like I was like, "What?" So when we were doing the dance, I remember the band director was like, "Oh, okay, Lennox, is that what you want?" And the band had no problem with it. My girls are the ones that were looking at me like, "Are you serious?" So when they started to play, I said, "All I'm asking you to do is give it your all. It might be hard the first time. You might have to stop for a second, or like take a little quick second, but get right back in." So I remember seeing a few girls take a pause for a second, and then they would jump right back in because it was so fast. But it was fitting. It needed to be there at that level because of what the choreography I gave them. So even in that, we're dancing. It's hard. It's faster than what they thought, but at the same time, they could do it. Some of them just had to take a little pause, take a little beat, and then jump right back in. And then when we ran through it, I think for the final time, everybody had it. But I was refusing to give up because even after we went through the first time, everybody was out of breath, including me, because I was like, wait a minute, that was fast, but it was good. It looked good. Everybody was clean. But when we got to like the third or fourth time, everybody went through without stopping. So, what I want to say also with that, what are some things that you think as you're thinking right now, what are some things you think you need to pause from? And again, pause doesn't mean that I'm going to stop because you can't stop. Whatever you're doing in your life, excuse me, you can't stop. You can't afford to stop, but you might need to take a pause. Maybe pausing, you might need to pause in the accessibility and availability that you give to other people. A lot of you, I'm pretty sure every person that's on here under the sound of my voice. It sounds funny to say under the sound of my voice. Okay, y'all, I'm just being goofy, but you are a person who you do a lot of output to people. So even in your maybe even in your personal life at times, but then knowing when you have to carve out that time to say, okay, I might have to step away from my phone, step away from phone calls, step away from emails, step away from text messages, or even as I've learned to embrace do not disturb. There's only certain people who can get through to me, only certain people who can get through to either one to you all. Some people I know are still old school. They would turn their phone off for a certain amount of time. But just because you're doing that for a moment, you're just taking a pause from your interaction with people. But you're not stopping interaction with people. And it's just like, I'm going to take a moment. And then when I'm ready, okay, now I make myself accessible and available. Sometimes, let me say this, make yourself available to be unavailable. Everybody does not have to always be, you don't have to be at everybody's beck and call. You don't have to have a demand on you from other people. And that's with family, friends, loved ones of any kind, your jobs, your employees, whatever that is. Learn how to carve out that time to take a pause from people. It doesn't mean that it's almost like after these messages, I'll be right back. Y'all remember that used to be through the ABC commercials, I mean, the ABC cartoons on Saturday. But take a beat sometimes, take a break, and then, but do return to people. But also think about how sometimes a pause that depends on your level of need. That pause might be a few hours, that pause might be a day, that pause might be over the weekend, that pause might be when you're on vacation. But make sure you don't stop connecting with people, that you don't isolate and you just shut people out. Make sure then you return. So we're going to press play. Oh, that's another thing, y'all. Think about it. When you watch a movie or something like that, and you might need to take a minute, take a break, take a phone call, go get you something to eat, or go to the restroom or whatnot. You press pause on that movie, right? And then you come back and press play. So whatever you're taking a pause from, just as a preface and other things we're going to talk about, whenever you take a pause from anything, make sure you come back and press play. You can't stop being accessible and available to people. You have to guard your accessibility, but you can't stop being accessible and available to people. Just know when it's time to take a pause. Okay. Another thing could be, I want to say constructive criticism. Now, constructive criticism is healthy for all of us. You're always thinking about how you're going to improve, how you're going to become better, how you're going to learn, how you're going to stretch yourself, how you're going to be elevated, how you're going to be the better version of yourself than you ever have been, how you're going to live a life like you've never lived before. Constructive criticism, I always tell people, they say, oh, yeah, I don't mind criticism. I'm like, criticism was one thing, but criticism could be deconstructive. But constructive criticism, meaning that if I can look at myself, analyze myself, evaluate myself, I'm able to look at areas that I know I can be better in, but not forgetting that I'm already doing a good job. Each of you, I'm pretty sure I'm looking at people who can be hard on themselves. Raise your hand. I know sometimes it creeps up for me, but where you might be a little hard on yourself and you do want to improve. You do not want to remain the same. That's just not going to be healthy for you. You should always be desiring to be a better you each and every day. But you don't want to miss out on how well you're doing already and also how well you're becoming. So sometimes you have to take a break, take a little pause on evaluating yourself and assessing yourself so hard. Take a minute, pause from that, but don't stop ever wanting to improve. But just know, take a minute sometimes, pause, think about how you and reflect on how you're already being such a good person. You're doing great things. You're accomplishing great things. You're being very successful. But you can press play and come back because you're going to always want to improve. But knowing you need to just take a little pause from that. Okay. Also, work or task. Vision, goals, dreams, planning, all these things, planning for the future. But I say also with work and task, you're always going to have something to do. Always going to have something to do, but know when you need to take a step back. Also, when you're talking about your vision, dreams, certain goals that you have, always stick to those things, but know when you might probably need to step back. And sometimes taking a pause might be where you are taking your eyes off of it, taking your hands off of it. And also, maybe this is a moment to reflect to see maybe when I come back to looking at what tasks I have ahead of me, what goals I have ahead of me, what visions I have ahead of me, what dreams or desires I would like to see in my life. Now, it might cause me to brainstorm a little bit more. Maybe I can make things a little bit more specific instead of generic or broad because I can step away from it. But if I'm always so honed in on my work and tasks, my visions, my goals, my dreams, I'm a human. I think I've heard it before. I'm a human doing versus a human being. You're always going to want to look at those things. You're always going to have something to do, y'all. People out here, whether you're an entrepreneur, a businessman, businesswoman, whether you whatever corporate job you have, whatever work you do at all, even if you're a stay-at-home parent, that's a job. You have several tasks in that. Whether you're a person who you want to see greater things in your life, you want to accomplish major things in your life, always have those things at the front of your mind. Always have those things to be thinking on, but know when it's appropriate for you to take a pause on it so that you don't become so engulfed in that. You probably won't even see anything else. And you might not know you're probably going to take yourself in circles if you're always focused on that. Planning for the future is amazing. But also, you don't want to be so busy planning for the future that you're missing out on what you're doing right now in the present. Um, Also, hustling to make things happen. I'm pretty sure many of you are always on the go. Like, I got to make it happen. I got to do it. I'm on it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. My days are always on. I'm on all the time. Which again, that could be a natural proclivity for all of us to hustle to make things happen. You got to make it happen. I got to close this off. I got to cross every T, dot every I. I got to make things happen. Pause sometimes from that hustle and bustle that you're doing. Go smell the roses. Go do something nice for yourself. Go be involved in some of your interests and hobbies. Go relax sometimes and whatever that could be for you. Maybe that's working out, maybe that's going for a walk, maybe that's getting on a phone call with someone you love dearly. Maybe that's planning a vacation or going on a vacation. Maybe it's a moment of just catching up on a show you haven't seen in years. Maybe that's doing, again, an interest or a hobby. Maybe you're going to do taekwondo. I hear a lot of people talking about what is it, y'all? Oh, I can't think of it right now. It's going to bother me, but it's a derivative of like taekwondo, but it's not karate, y'all. I hear y'all, but it's not. Somebody probably will say it in the comments. I can't think of it, but it can be very painful. That's all I know, and I cannot. I have a lot of clients who do it, and I just can't think of it. Anyway, going to enjoy whatever those things are in your life that feed you, that benefit you, that edify you. You always going to have things to make happen. Always. The hustle is there. Hustling with productivity. Let me say that. Take a pause at times. All of you work so hard. All of you are doing an extraordinary job at what you do, but don't get so caught up because you're always thinking about deadlines. You're always, and again, for some of you, those things are highly important for you to make sure that you're always making happen. You have people who are relying on you for their welfare, for what they do, for their income, whatever that is. So that's always something that's necessary, but no one is okay to take a pause and step back. But you're gonna have to come back to it. One of the two other things I want to say is, I would say right now, even in the world, the news or social media. Sometimes take a pause on that stuff. My late grandfather used to always tell, we called him Big Daddy. He always would tell me, keep up with the current events, Josh. I always keep up with the current events. And I would say, Big Daddy, I don't, even back then, I was even a teenager and as a kid, I don't want to watch. It's so sad. And I started crying. I would. If I saw something bad on, it would just affect me. If I saw negative things, deaths, um, anything that was harsh or whatever, it would kind of, get to me, make me cry and things of that nature. I'm like, it's just sad. I don't want to watch bad news, sad news all the time. He would tell me, it's important for you to know what's going on around you. Watch or read it in the newspaper, watch it and step away from it. Now we see a lot of things going on in this world that we're all looking at. As I always tell them, if I hear my clients come in and they want to talk about it just for a moment, I give them that space because I believe everyone's affected by it in some way, whether it's directly or indirectly, you're affected by it. So, but knowing to give yourself even a limit or a boundary with watching the news, with being on your social media and scrolling and seeing all of these things that can be very devastating, and then you wonder why you walking around sad and feeling down, a little melancholy, and you almost some people are becoming numb, or I think they're becoming desensitized to seeing things. It's so sad. Let me say this: I keep seeing certain times I have to really scroll past stuff when I am like when I post my reels or something in the morning. I might scroll and look at some things, keep up with people and see how people are doing. But then I'll see things where you can naturally now see any and everything online. You see people being killed. You see people getting hurt. You see all kinds of fights and see all kinds of devastation. And you have to really be mindful of what you let yourself, what you let into your eye gates and also your ear gates. So know when you need to take a pause on watching the news or even being on social media. In social media, I can go down a list of things why you don't want to be on that scrolling often over and over again. Now, don't get me wrong, on social media, there are a lot of great things, a lot of healthy things as well. But then there are also some things you really need to be mindful of, and also the tricks and the schemes of things, comparing yourself to people, seeing people's lives, and you start questioning your own lives and things of that nature. So, not going to go down a rabbit hole with that, but know when you need to pause from those things. It's okay to keep up with certain events, keep up with certain people's lives, keep up with certain things on your timeline, but know when to make sure you press pause on that. Sometimes I want to say you might want to take a stop on that sometimes for a moment. But last thing I want to mention, just in the same light of that, talking about social media, but taking a break away, taking a pause away from screens of all kind. I've already talked about phones, but even computers. If some of you are like myself, you sit in front of a computer, excuse me, pretty much all day. But I know in between my clients, or if I have a meeting or something like that, I will literally get up after each thing and go walk in my house, do something, and then come back and sit down just to kind of step away. But I would say really make sure you put a pause on how much screen time you're having. I can't imagine. I think about when I was growing up, not having cell phones and not having, these iPads and all of that stuff. And you had computers, but y'all remember what computers look like, that good old DOS system. It was a little different. You wasn't gonna have a lot of screen time on that unless that was your job, your physical job that you went to. But sometimes give your eyes a rest too. I just want to say that you looking at stuff. I think sometimes I feel like I'm about to go cross-eyed when I'm talking to my clients. Like my eyes go in, but knowing when to take a pause away from the screen. Okay. I want to say this last point before I let you guys go. And again, please make sure that you all are sharing this out. And I hope that you all are getting something from this tonight. Another last thing I want to say is that something I was in prayer about one day, asking God about how I was doing. And, God checking in with him, I was like, Lord, where do I need to shape up? Where do I need to change? What do I need to work on? What do I need to get better at? What are some things I'm not giving to you that I'm holding on to? And he told me, he said, sometimes, so I'm going to say this, but he said, sometimes we're so, and I'm saying we, I'm talking about us, but sometimes we're so busy trying to do our part in partnership with God, we don't leave room for him to do the miraculous or show us favor because we fear gaps. I'll say that one more time. Sometimes we are so busy trying to do our part in partnership with God, we don't leave room for Him to do the miraculous or show us favor because we fear gaps. Now, while I was even asking Him about assessing myself, because sometimes I think a thing I learned as a child, being around people of the military and things of that nature, you need to always be doing something. You ain't doing, you better act like you're doing something. You're lazy. You're lazy. You're no good, whatever. So I always felt like I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something, or I'm not doing enough. And I found myself in seasons, even like right now, where I am used to doing multiple things. And now, right now, I'm having to be focused only on a few things and trust God with it. So it's like, I'm not doing something. Okay, God, let me go and try to do this. And God, like, hold on, Josh, not yet. Hold on. Now you can, take your time. It's time. That's coming. Okay, well, I'm gonna try to do this. And God's like, hey, you trying to do too much. Stay in this lane right now. It ain't gonna be for long, but I need you to focus just on these few things right now. And I'm like, but I don't want to find myself unworthy of not doing all the things that I should be doing. I should be doing each and everything I can right now. I should be giving 100% and in what I'm doing, and I should be doing more. I should be doing more than this. And God said what He said. Sometimes you're so busy trying to do your part, doing your part with God. You should do all you can. You cannot just think that God is just going to drop something in your lap and you don't have to do your part. We have to do our part too. But sometimes we can overdo, try to overdo so much. And of course, He knows better than we do. And He'll be telling you to, hold yourself, hold on. But then because you fear gaps, you start to, get anxious and you're trying to do so much. And God is trying to tell you, hey, you're not even leaving room for me to do the miraculous or to show my favor in your life like never before because you're fearing gaps, because of things that don't look the same, things are not happening for you like you would hope they would. There was something that I was trying to do that I know I'm supposed to do, and I was trying to go at it, and God was blocking it every time. And I was thinking like, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm one of those people. I'll keep trying until God was like, not now, not yet. And I was like, God, well, what else am I supposed to be doing? I feel like I'm just behind. I feel like I'm not doing enough. And that's when He let me know that. So what I'm telling y'all is make sure you are doing all that you can with God, but be open to His plan and His will for your life, even if things look different, even if you feel like you're not doing enough. You do, maybe it's because you just need to do what He's telling you to do at this moment. And those things that you're going after doesn't mean that you're not going to attain them or do them, just not at this very moment. Stay focused and faithful over what He's telling you to do right now. And also, again, put a pause on your plans sometimes, on what you think you're supposed to be doing, what you think you're supposed to be maneuvering in right now. Put a pause on that because, again, God knows all things. He's omniscient, He sees what's ahead. I'm so thankful that sometimes when I do get those cautions from Him trying to do things, and then I find out later, like, oh, that's why He was saying not yet. Now it's time for this. Okay, good. Thank you, God. But sometimes we can get uncomfortable when we don't think our plans are planning out. Even if you've heard properly from God, you heard what He said, you just don't know when. And you're trying to don't try to beat Him to the punch. Don't try to beat Him to get to whatever it is that you desire, what you're dreaming, what you're envisioning. He told you, He just didn't tell you the timing. And if He hasn't told you the time, stay faithful over what He has you doing right now. He's just put up, maybe there's a pause on certain things right now. Even the things you used to do, maybe it's a pause. I'm one of those people who, again, I would sing. I went from singing every Sunday, almost 3 to 4 times, three or four services, to not singing at all at the moment, except for at home, but not singing at all and having to trust God. And I was like, God, every time I move, it seemed like feel like I'm getting pulled back. And the things that I was doing, you put a hold on it or a pause on it. I'll eventually do it again, but it's like He'll put a pause on it. And I'm like, but what did I do? Like, why you stop this and that? Or, why can't I do more? I have to trust Him. Also leave room for Him to do the what? The miraculous, and show favor over my life and not fear the gaps, because He'll fill those in. So again, don't fear when He puts a pause on those things that you're desiring to do right now, those plans that you thought would be happening by now. They're still going to happen. It's just on pause. But don't you give up and don't you give in and thinking that it's a stop. Don't confuse a pause. Don't confuse a pause with a stop or an end. Okay. So I love y'all. I know I've got to let you go, but what are we going to do, y'all? Think about those things as your homework. What are some areas in your life where you feel like you need to be actively making pauses at times? Or what are some areas in your life that have been on pause, and not because you don't want to, you wanted them to stop or anything like that, but just they've been on pause, but just know that God's about to press play soon. God's about to press play soon. Some of y'all probably right now sitting there like, you know what? It felt like I want to just give up sometimes on some things because I feel like it's never going to happen. It's never going to work. Maybe it's not that at all. It's just going to be, it's been on pause. But God can give God time enough to know when it's time to press play. And don't stop going to Him about it. Go to Him about it. Okay, God, is it time yet? You gonna pray? Are we gonna press play now? Can we come up off pause? You're not. Sometimes you're not ready for what you think you're ready for, and that's why pause has to step in. Because pause just means just for a moment, What does the definition say? A delay or suspended reaction. But once you press play, you're going to be ready. Okay? Might not be ready for what that thing is you want so bad right now. You're going to be ready soon. So, y'all, I'm wrapping up. I love y'all. I hope that you all have enjoyed tonight. And I don't want none of y'all going around talking about pausing and playing and stuff and stopping the people. You a walking remote control, huh? Right. Anyway, y'all, I will see y'all again on what time? 7 p.m. What? Eastern Standard Time? 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Y'all know the other stuff. To my international people, I want to say hello to all of you all, and I thank you all for continuing to share and continuing to tune in. And I can't help it, y'all. I have got somebody asked me about. They were like, Are you from the UK or something?" I said, "No, I'm not from the UK. I can just speak like them. I plan to get over to London soon. I plan to get over there, but I did find out, y'all, because a person very significant to me did get me a DNA test last Christmas, and I was able to trace my ancestry, and I actually do have a great percentage in London, in England too. So yeah, London, England, UK, all of that same thing. But anyway, y'all, I hope you take something from this. Again, you can pause, but you can't stop. Those things in your life, they can be on pause, but they can't stop. Just like you might pause, well, one thing I was going to say really quick is think about how if you look back over your life sometimes where you saw pauses that were so necessary, but they didn't seem necessary at the moment. You probably were heartbroken and sad and thought that things were over. And then that play was pressed, and then your life started going in a way to be like, just like the word says, though you may not know what I'm doing now, later on you will. So hold on to that. Though you may not know what those pauses are and what God is doing or what He's paused in your life or the things that you need to pause in your life right now, later on you'll understand why. You'll understand why. And pause doesn't have to mean forever either, y'all. You don't be like how I was playing Nintendo, run outside for hours and come back in praying that the thing was going to, play. And I think one time it got stuck and I had to restart the whole game. Talk about upset. I threw my controller and everything. I was upset. My heart was hurt. But anyway, you all have always been great. You're just getting better, and now you're embracing it. You've always been great. You're just getting better, and now you're embracing it. So have a wonderful rest of this Friday evening. Have a safe weekend as well. I will see y'all, as I always will, on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at the Inspiration Station, where we do what? We upsize in 2025 all day, every day. That's right. Talk to y'all soon. Love you. And hey, spread love now more than ever. We need the unity, and that love starts with you. So you got so much in you, spread it. Spread it. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.